The divorce papers were sitting on my hotel bed. Someone had slid them under the door. Our joint account showed a zero balance. $340,000. Gone. I called her phone. She didn't pick up. I called again. Nothing. Then a text came through from a number I didn't recognize. It said, "She's done with you. Move on." My hands were shaking. Not from fear. From something much colder. Because whoever sent that text had no idea what they had just started. My name is Ronan Steele. I'm 43 years old. I'm a forensic accountant. I find money people think they've hidden. I find lies people think they've buried. I've testified in federal court 11 times. I've dismantled multimillion-dollar fraud schemes for a living. My wife, Tara, knew what I did for work. She just never thought I'd do it to her. That was her first mistake. I sat on that hotel bed in Houston, papers in my hand, and I made a decision. No calls. No begging. No rage texts. Just work. I opened my laptop. First thing I checked wasn't the bank account. It was the property records. Our house, the 4-bedroom colonial in Westfield, was registered under one name only. Mine. Tara had always assumed we owned it together. We'd been married 8 years. She never asked to see the deed. Never read the mortgage documents. I had purchased that house 14 months before we married. She was never added to the title. I stared at the screen. My heart was still pounding. But now it was pounding differently. I called my attorney at 11 p.m. His name is Silas Drummond. He's not warm. He's not friendly. He's exactly what I needed. She emptied the account, he said. Every dollar, I told him. Silence. Then, and the house. Solely in my name, I said. More silence. Then I heard him exhale slowly. Ronan, he said, she just handed you everything. He told me not to go home yet. Don't tip her off. Don't call her. Let her think she won. I hung up and ordered room service. I hadn't eaten in 7 hours. I extended my Houston trip by 3 days. During that time, I worked. I pulled every financial record I could access. Our joint account had been drained in 2 transfers. Both happened on the same day, Tuesday, while I was in my 3rd meeting of the morning. The transfers went to an account I didn't recognize. I ran the account number through my professional database. It belonged to a man named Garrett. No. A man named Colt Ferris. 41 years old. Self-described real estate investor. 3 prior civil judgments against him. 2 for fraud. 1 for breach of contract. My wife had left me for a con man. My hands stopped shaking that night. Something in me went completely still. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was a case. I knew how to work a case. I started building a file. Colt Ferris had a pattern. He targeted women with access to money. He charmed them. He moved fast. He positioned himself as successful. His LinkedIn showed a company called Ferris Capital Group. I searched the business registry. The company had been registered 4 months ago. It had 1 employee. Him. His office address was a mailbox rental on 5th Street. Tara thought she had found a winner. She had found a ghost. I flew home on Friday morning. Tara didn't know I was coming. I had a key, obviously. It was my house. I arrived at 9 a.m. Her car was in the driveway. So was a black Range Rover I'd never seen. I didn't rush. I sat in my rental car for 6 minutes. Then I got out, walked to the front door, and unlocked it. The house smelled different. There were 2 coffee mugs on my kitchen counter. I walked to the living room. They were both on my couch. Tara saw me first. Her face went completely white. She stood up so fast she knocked the coffee table. Ronan, you're not supposed to be here until when? I said. I looked at him. Colt Ferris in person was tan, well-dressed, confident. He stood slowly, like a man used to controlling rooms. You must be the husband, he said. His voice was smooth. I must be, I said. And you must be the man whose bank account I've been studying for the past 72 hours. The confidence flickered. Just for a second. But I caught it. I'd been catching moments like that my whole career. It was enough. Tara started talking fast. Ronan, I was going to call you. The divorce is already filed. Silas will tell you. Silas is my attorney, I said. He already knows everything. She stopped. The account is empty, I said. I know. $340,000. Transferred to Ferris Capital Group. Which, for the record, is not a real company. Colt's jaw tightened. I'd watch what you say, he said. Or what? I said. You'll sue me? With which assets? I've already found the 3 judgments. Should I read them out loud? Or do you both already know? Tara turned to look at Colt. That look told me everything. She hadn't known. He hadn't told her about the fraud judgments. I watched her face shift from shock to something uglier. Confusion. Doubt. The first crack in whatever fantasy she'd been living in. I didn't press it. I didn't need to. I just said, I'm going to need you both to leave. This is my house. The deed is in my name alone. You have no legal right to be here. Tara laughed. It was a nervous laugh. We're married. I have rights. You filed for divorce 4 days ago, I said. Your attorney filed on your behalf. Which means you already left. Legally and otherwise. Silas had warned me this moment would come. He told me to stay calm. Let them react. Don't give them anything emotional to grab onto. So I stood there like a wall. Tara's lawyer, a woman named Petra Wynne, called me 40 minutes later. I was still in the house. Colt and Tara had left. Petra's voice was clipped and professional. Mr. Steele, your wife has rights to marital assets. The house isn't a marital asset, I said. It predates the marriage by 14 months. The deed has never been amended. A pause. A long one. I'll need to verify that, she said. I'll send you the documents tonight, I said. Take your time. I sent Petra the full chain of title that evening. Purchase date. My name only. Mortgage in my name only. Not one document with Tara's signature. I also sent her something else. A detailed accounting of the $340,000 transfer. Timestamped. Traced. Destination account verified. I included Colt Ferris's business registration date, his 3 civil judgments, and a note that I had already contacted a forensic fraud specialist to assess whether the transfer constituted financial abuse under state law. Petra did not respond that night. She responded at 6:43 the next morning. 3 words, we need to talk. We met at Silas's office. Tara came without Colt. That told me he was already creating distance. Smart move on his part. Stupid move for her. She sat across from me in a grey blazer, arms crossed, eyes hard. She looked like she was ready to fight. Silas laid out the property documentation first. Petra reviewed it. Her face didn't move, but I saw her pen stop. Silas then laid out the fraud dossier on Colt Ferris. Petra looked at Tara. Tara looked at the table. The room was very quiet. Then Petra said, Mrs. Steele, I think we should speak privately. Tara said, No. I want to hear this. Colt Ferris has 2 pending fraud investigations, Silas said. 1 in this state. 1 in Nevada. The account your wife transferred funds to, Ferris Capital Group, has received similar transfers from at least 2 other women in the past 18 months. Tara's composure broke for just a second. Her chin dropped. Her hands, which had been flat on the table, curled into fists. She looked at me. I didn't look away. You're lying, she said. Her voice cracked. Not much, but enough. No, I said. That's what I do when other people lie. I find the truth. You just forgot that. Petra called for a 15-minute break. She took Tara into the hallway. I stayed in the room with Silas. He poured 2 glasses of water. Handed me one. She's going to ask for settlement, he said quietly. She has nothing to settle with, I said. The house is yours, he said. The account money is traceable and recoverable, I said. I've already spoken to a financial crimes attorney. Colt could face criminal charges. If Tara facilitated the transfer knowingly, she's exposed too. Silas raised an eyebrow. Did she know? That's the question she needs to answer, I said. And fast. They came back in. Petra's voice had changed. The clipped professionalism was still there, but something underneath it had softened. She knew her client was standing on sand. Mrs. Steele is willing to discuss returning the transferred funds, Petra said, in exchange for a clean dissolution. That's not a negotiation, Silas said. The funds will be returned regardless. That's not in question. The question is whether we involve law enforcement. Tara looked at me directly for the first time since the meeting started. Ronan, she said. Her voice was almost quiet, almost human. Don't do this. I said nothing. I let the silence sit. Silas had coached me on this. Say nothing. Let them fill the silence. People always fill silence with what they're most afraid of. Tara filled it. I didn't know about the other women, she said. I didn't know about the fraud cases. He told me, she stopped. Swallowed. He told me you were hiding money from me. He said he could help me get what was mine. Her voice was shaking now. Not performing. Actually shaking. I felt something move in my chest. I pushed it down. What he told you, I said slowly, is not my problem. I had one more document in my folder. I hadn't shown it yet. I slid it across the table. Petra picked it up. Tara leaned over to look. It was a printout of text messages, recovered from a cloud backup I had legal access to. Our account, my payment. Messages between Tara and Colt going back 9 months. The earliest ones were warm, romantic. By month 3, they were transactional. By month 6, Colt was instructing her, telling her what to say to me, what to look for in my files, what questions to ask. By month 8, he was pushing her toward the account. Petra set the document down very carefully. These messages, Petra said, were obtained how? From a joint cloud storage account, Silas said. One Mr. Steele pays for. One that backs up all devices connected to the household Wi-Fi. Automatically. Legally. Petra looked at her client. Tara was staring at the printout. The color had completely left her face. He used me, she said. It wasn't a question. Nobody answered. Nobody needed to. He told me you were the liar, she said. Her voice had gone flat. Empty. Like something had been switched off. I picked up my water glass and took a slow sip. We have a lot to discuss, Silas said. The agreement took 4 more days to finalize. Colt Ferris, once I contacted the Financial Crimes Unit, lasted about 72 hours before a detective was at his door. The Nevada investigation fast-tracked. The funds in the Ferris Capital account were frozen pending seizure. All of them, including Tara's $340,000. She would have to file a civil claim to recover her portion, if she could prove she was a victim and not a willing participant. Petra was good. She was working the angle hard. It wasn't my problem anymore. I had my house. I had my documentation. I had the truth locked in 14 folders on a secured server. The divorce was granted on an uncontested basis. No division of the house. No spousal support. Tara's attorney couldn't argue financial need without exposing the transfer, and exposing the transfer opened the fraud angle. It was a trap she had walked into herself. I signed the final papers on a Tuesday. Same day of the week she had emptied the account. I noticed that. I didn't say it out loud. Some things you just let sit. Silas shook my hand outside the courthouse. Clean, he said. Very clean. I nodded. We didn't celebrate. There was nothing to celebrate. There was just an ending. Colt Ferris was indicted 6 weeks later. Wire fraud. 3 counts. The Nevada case merged with ours. 2 other women came forward. His real name, it turned out, wasn't even Colt Ferris. It was something else entirely, something plain and ordinary, from a place nobody glamorous would claim. He had built an entire identity from nothing. I almost respected the construction. Almost. He was denied bail on the second hearing. The judge cited flight risk. I read the court filing on my phone, standing in my kitchen, drinking coffee from one of the 2 mugs Tara had left behind. I threw them both away that morning. Tara called me once. 3 weeks after the decree. I let it go to voicemail. She said she was sorry. She said she had been confused. She said Colt had manipulated her and she hoped I knew that. Maybe it was true. Maybe it wasn't. It didn't matter. The call lasted 43 seconds. I deleted it without listening to it twice. My life had a clean edge now. No loose threads. No unresolved angles. Just a house with my name on it, an account being rebuilt dollar by dollar, and a case file that had already been referenced by a federal prosecutor in a brief. I was mentioned as the original source. The last thing I did was walk through every room in the house. Not to feel something. To take inventory. I was looking at it the way I look at everything now, as a set of facts. Square footage. Condition. What stays? What goes? The house was mine before she arrived, and it was mine after she left. Nothing about that had changed. Only now I understood something I hadn't understood before. The most dangerous thing you can do is underestimate a man who finds things for a living. She had lived with me for 8 years. She had never once asked what I actually did all day. That was her real mistake. I put the house on the market 2 months later. Not because I had to. Because I wanted to. I sold it in 11 days. Cash offer. Above asking. I took the proceeds and bought a smaller place, entirely new, with no history attached to it. Just walls and light and silence. No ghosts. No coffee mugs. No papers slid under doors. The forensic work didn't stop. It never does. People always think they've covered their tracks. They move money. They change names. They tell stories. And then someone like me starts pulling threads. The thread always leads somewhere. It always does. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and leave a comment telling me what you thought. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to get alerts about new stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.